I am Dr. Marcia Thomas Powell, and I am an educator in Jamaica.
Hello and welcome to Obehi Podcast. I'm your host, Obehi A14, and I strongly believe that everyone has a story to share. Now let's get started into this episode.
Throughout the system, so I have practiced at the primary, the secondary, and the tertiary. I am a writer. I have produced a few publications. I'm working on 2 more at this time. And I am presently engaged as an adjunct professor and a principal in a small disadvantaged rural school. I wanted to be a lawyer. When I was growing up, I wanted to be a lawyer. But my early training in my church community, I found myself teaching, I found myself mentoring, and I found myself working with young people, pointing to people, talking to me about what they would want to do as a career, etc. And so I was pulled towards teaching as a natural outflow of my associations. But my desire was to be a lawyer. I started out, I did fairly well as a student. I achieved very early the qualifications that would put me in a position to enter a teacher's college. And so I entered the teacher's college and I did languages as my major. When I pulled out, I began to move through the system very fast. And because of my ability to motivate people, I found myself in leadership positions. I became a senior teacher and I was in charge of mentoring and coaching persons. And for that reason, I evolved into becoming a principal and also a lecturer. In Jamaica, we celebrate an entire month. The month of October is usually dedicated to our heroes, and then we celebrate Heroes Day. Interestingly, Marcus Garvey is really a hero embedded in the parish in which I work. And so Marcus Garvey is seen highly. And throughout the school year, we use quotes and we use a lot of his ideas to motivate our students from our background in our parish because he's embedded in that parish. There is a heroes wall that I have at my school, in my school community, and Marcus Garvey is the central figure on that wall. We, from a point of view of enabling our boys and making our boys readers, we have actually put quotes of learning and being able to shape the world because you're a reader. And so we have one of his quotes that says, readers are leaders, and that we use to motivate our boys. So it's really integrated into the fabric of my environment and context in my workplace. And it is cascaded out, especially in October, where we look at our heroes and a number of persons tend to focus on Marcus Garvey. We also have a center. And so we take our children on educational trips to his center, and we allow them to look at how we progress and the milestones and the benefits that we are receiving because of his endeavors and because of his work. In my context, as I said before, I use him to really motivate my boys. Where I work is really a rural community, and rural communities in Jamaica tend to have what we call small schools. It is usually farming communities. And so a number of the persons are low income earners. And for that reason, a lot of the boys, when they graduate from school, primary and middle school, they tend to resort to farming. And so the self-development and growth is for them. Farming is an important part because they are more concentrated on earning so that they can become leaders in their homes. For that reason, we motivate them mentally using his quotes and his life to say the type of man, for example, that you want to be is really not dependent on where you are, but where you are going. So they are pushed to look at themselves as worthwhile, important individuals that have a voice, and their voice is where they choose to speak from. And so if you are a doorkeeper, you are encouraged to be the best doorkeeper that you can be and a great contributor to your community and to the areas in which you decide to concentrate your efforts. For the boys in school that are non-readers or slow readers, we encourage them through these motivational thoughts and tips that you just need to start. And so we look at where we want you to be in a frame inside yourself, because if you're intrinsically motivated, you are able to be confident enough in yourself to reach for your goals despite the struggles and to achieve them at your own pace. And so that is the focal point from which I rest that fulcrum of what Marcus Garvey means and what he represents to people who are really struggling, persons who are disadvantaged, persons who are considered to be at risk. I see his experience and his strides and the works that he moved along, because he himself struggled. He himself had a lot of off moments, and his victory and his success is a pillar on which boys and men can rest to move forward when they are struggling or if they feel that they are in disadvantaged circumstances. So we make it a mental and an emotional and a psychological pull for them, and we make sure that they are affirmed. And so we have a mantra that we have put together, and we say, today is my day. I am a winner. I can do it. God is always with me. And that is a mantra that they say at my school. The boys have one also that is embedded in that principle too. It says, I am brilliant, obedient, and young because greatness exists in me. The girls say the same thing. I am a gem because greatness exists in me.
If you enjoy this podcast, make sure you subscribe so you never miss any of our future episodes. Rate and review Obehi Podcast and share with your friends who might need it. I remain Obehi Ewanfo. Thank you so much for listening, and talk to you in the next episode.